Hi, this is Donna. Welcome to DD Paper Crafts. And in today's video, we're going to be making this, what I think is an absolutely adorable gift booklet. So it ties up with ribbon. It constitutes a series of wallets, each of which are individually decorated. And each of which will have a envelope if you choose to an envelope, or a surprise wallet, which I'll show you how I put mine together, or a gift token, or a voucher. The route I've decided to go is I've made these little envelopes, one of which is going to sit in each wallet, and the idea is the recipient opens the wallet like so, and inside will be a card which will have the gift on it. And for me, this is not about giving something which is going to cost money. For instance, this one may be, let's spend a day in the garden. Let's go to the garden centre. This one could be, let's go for afternoon tea, but it might be, let's bake a cake. So the gifts don't have to be about spending money. The gifts don't have to be expensive. The gifts could be just you spending your time. And I think it's a super adaptable project. You can make it any size you want. The wallets can be as big as small as you want. Just then adapt your envelopes and your little token cards, which are going to go inside. And I think it's just a lovely gift to give that special person in your life. The first thing I would suggest you do is have a think about the gifts that you would like to give, because that will determine the number of wallets that you are going to make. The wallets I've made are 3 inches by 4 inches. If you decide that you want to make the project the same size as mine, each of my gift ideas are going to be on a piece of card which measures 3 inches by 1 3/4 inches. So you might want to do that first, so that will then perhaps determine how you decorate each of the wallets. So without further ado, let's get started. The initial piece of paper for my wallet is 4 inches by 8 inches. I'm going to have a 1/2 inch tab, but I could have a 1/4 inch tab. Just think about your adhesion method and whether, if you're using tape, for instance, it's wide enough. I'm scoring at 1/2 inch and 3.5 inches. Rotate and score at 4 inches. Fold and burnish along the centre score line and fold in the longer tabs. So this will come up like this, and then all I'm going to do is at the end, the top, I'm going to add my finger lift tape. Remove the backing. And fold up my wallet. Like so, and then just go in and re-burnish. And finally, I'm going to use my circle punch and just cut a finger notch into the top. So I have my wallet. Now, I would suggest that before you create the booklet, if it's your intention to decorate the wallets with stamped images or 3D die cuts, however you're going to decorate them, I would do that now before we stick the wallets together. Once you've decorated your wallets, lay my 2 wallets undecorated side face up. I've got my ribbon that I'm going to use to create my hinge. So to start with, all I'm going to do is lay and adhere my ribbon between here and here. So I'm going to stick that down. You can obviously determine how wide your ribbon is. You can have as many hinges as you want. So if you wanted to have one at the top and one at the bottom, you can do that. Peel the backing off and stick the ribbon in place. Now at this stage I'm still working on a full reel. I haven't yet cut my ribbon. So I could now glue my top wallet on, or I can glue it at the end. That's entirely up to you. I'm going to glue my top wallet now, and I'm going to use construction glue. So I've added my glue to the back of my wallet, and I'm now going to carefully line it up and adhere it to the wallet underneath. So I'm going to flip that one over, move my ribbon out to the right hand side, and take my next pair of wallets. I'm going to cut my ribbon, and I'm going to cut it so that it's within and no longer than the length of the wallet. So what we want to do is we want to turn over our third wallet and lay it on top of our second wallet. And this piece of ribbon is going to stick on the back of wallet number 3. My wallets sit on top of each other nicely like so, and so I don't need to have a very wide hinge, but I need to have enough to allow for my surprise wallet to fit in, which is going to add a little bit of dimension into my wallet and allow the dimension on the fronts of each of wallets 2 and 3. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to take my tape, I'm going to add it to the end of my ribbon, making sure that before I add my ribbon, wallet number 3 is lined up with wallet number 2. I'm going to leave a little bit of so you can see that what's going to happen is you've got your first one, that's going to flip and give you your second one. I'm going to lay wallet number 3 back over. I'm going to take my reel of ribbon, add some tape to the ends. I'm going to lay my wallet number 4 next to. Use your lines on your mat to help you, and I'm going to lay that onto the back of wallet number 4. Pass my ribbon round the front. So that's ready now for my next set of wallets. I'm now going to just add some tape onto the back of here. Add my glue onto the back of wallet number 3 and add wallet number 4 onto the back of wallet number 3, making sure that I get it all lined up. And obviously you don't need to use ribbon, you could use strips of paper, you can use anything which takes your fancy, which is going to enable you to create a hinge. So we're going to do exactly the same process, and you want to follow the process until you get to your last wallet, basically. So I've now got wallet number 5, which is my second to last wallet. So I'm going to just cut my ribbon, line up my pieces, create my hinge. And I don't need a lot of bulk, but I'd like my hinges to be roughly the same. Get some tape and add it on to the end of my ribbon. Line the wallets back up, and I'm going to get my hinges the same sort of length and stick that in place. So we've now got our last wallet to add. And then as a final touch, what I'm going to do is create a wraparound closure. So a long length of ribbon which will wrap around to the front, and then I'll tie it together in a bow. So before I stick my final wallet on, I'm going to estimate how long I want my ribbon to be. I'm going to take my tape, run it along the length or the width of the back, like so. My wraparound ribbon over the top, making sure I've got enough both sides. Try and get that over the hinges. Then I'm going to add glue to my wallet number 6, which is my last wallet, lining these wallets up. See, that will take time to dry. Wrap my ribbon round, tie that into a bow. So once you've made your main booklet, you want to follow the process to make your little surprise wallets, if that's what you're going to do, or your envelopes. To add an additional element of surprise to your gift, I found a way of making a little perforated wallet which could be torn open, and inside would be a small piece of card which would have your gift on it. And I created the perforations by using a dressmaker's tracing wheel. And obviously you don't need to use this. You could just create a mini envelope. You might just want to put the card in the wallet. You might just want to add a little bead of glue around the wallet. You don't have to use this, but this is just an additional element which I thought was a bit of fun. So I've got my strip of paper, and this is paper. We don't want this to be too thick if we're using the dressmaker's tool. This is 2.5 inches by 7 inches. I'm going to score at 2 1/4 inches, and the key with this tool is slow and steady. We want to keep an even pressure, and we want to work slowly because it's very easy to veer off the track, as you can see I've done there. But it's also as easy just to put the paper in and score. Rotate the paper and repeat at 2 1/4, and I just found it was easier to do it at 2 1/4 and rotate than it is to do it at 1/4 and then 2 1/4. So again, see if I can do it in one. Run the dressmaker's tool down, slow and steady, like so. Place the piece back, and along the 7-inch edge we're going to score at 6 3/4. Rotate, score at 6 3/4, and then score at 3 1/2, like so. Now, before you do anything else, if you're going to add any decoration to these wallets, now is the time to do it. So once you've decorated, using your adhesive, glue or tape in my case, and you want to just keep the tape between and not over the edge of the paper and the perforated holes. Try not to go over the perforated holes, and we're just applying the tape or the glue on 1/2 in the 3 sections up to, but not within, these 2 corners pieces here. Add my last piece. Make sure your gift idea is in before you go any further, and then seal the wallet like so. Now your surprise wallets are made. You've got your card inside, and each of the little wallets will have your envelope or your voucher or your surprise wallet, however you're going to give your gift. There we have the finished project. Perhaps the only thing with this I'm not quite happy about is the fact that the ribbon is covering the gnome's face, but hey ho. So I hope you've enjoyed watching today's video, and I hope you give the project a go. I think it's a really lovely gift idea, and gifts don't have to cost money. Sometimes the gift of giving time is all that's needed. And I think this is a super versatile. You could decorate it for any gender, any occasion, and it's just a lovely way of giving something to the special person in your life. If you've enjoyed today's video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. Until next time, thanks for watching.